Hello folks and welcome to the Shaka Laka show. I know it's been a long time since the last episode was put on the web, and apologies. I know I apologize the second episode as well, but lots been happening since the last episode, and unfortunately I could only find time now to get back to you about a whole lot of things that have been happening in the sporting arena. So stay tuned. Few things that I'm going to concentrate on. There's a lot that has happened, but I'm going to keep it as succinct as possible, and let's see how it goes. Right, so first up, I'd like to talk about the IPL. Yes, the most talked about event at this point in time. Strange things happened at the auction, we all know that. Surprise bid for Sachit Rasenanayaka, good for him, but I think players like TheScore.lk Pereira kind of would have expected a bit more, but good for Sachit Rasenanayaka. He's doing well with the Kolkata Knight Riders, and so is TheScore.lk Pereira. The rest of the gang, the experienced folk in Sangakkara, Mahela, Angelo, Dilshan, all finding it very difficult. In fact, Sangha and Dilshan actually not in the team as per the last couple of games, so a bit of an issue there for the old war horses of Sri Lanka, but nevertheless some of them are doing well for their respective teams. A bit of an issue as far as politics are concerned when it comes to the IPL. A lot was said about the players going there and the whole Chennai fiasco. My honest opinion is we should have just not gone. The whole bunch should have just refrained from going. I know it's a very sensitive topic and a lot of people have said a lot of things about it, and you can argue for and against that particular topic, but my personal opinion is they could have just boycotted it solely on the basis of if one province does not want our players to participate, then I don't see why we should step into that particular country and play for such a league. It's unfortunate that politics has gotten involved, and one can say that if we had refrained, or if our players had boycotted the games, it would have been even worse. But just to take a stand would have been nice, but that's my personal opinion. There's some who said there are contractual obligations that the players had, and they had to go. They would have been penalized financially, I believe, but then again, these players earn so much money, I don't see why they could have just couldn't have rather come to an agreement with the owners and sorted it out. Dinesh Chandimal didn't get the best of deals and thought he would have been better off staying back home and improving on his game. Good for him. I think the rest could have done the same. I know Chandimal had not much to lose, but I think they should have boycotted it. I know it's a very iffy thing to say, but there you go. Alright, stepping into something else about cricket as well. Kusal Janit Pereira, I tell you what, that guy has such a lot to offer for Sri Lankan cricket. Reminds me so much of the great Sanat Jayasuriya when he was at his prime. The same shots, the short arm jab over mid-wicket, the cover drives, the slashing blade over extra cover and cover point. It's just so much like Sanat Jayasuriya, and the attitude that he brings into the game is such a brilliant thing. He gets everybody charged up, and I've not seen the Sri Lankan supporters so involved at the top of the innings as they have been over the last couple of games that Kusal has played. I know it was just Bangladesh and stuff, but even to come out and play against Bangladesh in that manner shows the character in that fella. Big score in the Premier League, which skyrocketed him in and pushed his way into the team, the national team. Did well in Australia as well. Unfortunately, has not done that good at the IPL. He's playing for the Rajasthan Royals. Got a couple of opportunities, failed, and now Shane Watson has taken over. But I think it's a matter of time before this kid comes really good, and only good things can be expected from Kusal Janit Perera for Sri Lankan cricket in general. So right, heading into another sport from cricket, rugby is the game of the season this time of the year. Half of, well, not necessarily half, but a good chunk of the school's rugby season has now come to an end, and then we are kicking off the second phase post the Aurudu holidays. A lot of surprises in the school's rugby season. Tier 1 Singer Schools Rugby League. We saw two teams that stepped up from the B division onto the A division this year, performing absolutely brilliantly. Wesley College and Dharmaraja caused a lot of scares for a lot of teams, a lot of so-called established rugby schools teams. Dharmaraja scared Trady in their home den first game of the season, and boy, I was there in the Combox. I can tell you this much, I was impressed. They got a super kick on in their team, and the centre, hefty centre, has a lot to offer as well. Wesley done the same. Those two teams who a lot of people expected to languish in the bottom have actually performed absolutely brilliantly. And then Isipadana, what a surprise that has been. League champs 2012, 2013, finding themselves right at the bottom. That is indeed a shocking surprise for me, and I think to all the rugby-loving public. So we'll have to see how the second phase of the 2013 Singer Schools Rugby League pans out to be. I think a lot of teams will be hoping to change a few things here and there, especially Sipadana and Kinsud and St. Anthony's. But teams like Dharmaraja, Wesley and St. Peter's would look to continue the good performances that they've been putting on show, on display rather. And as for teams like Science College, St. Joseph's and Trinity, they'll try to tweak a few things here and there, but all in all, a lot of things to expect. Moving on from schools rugby to the Sri Lankan or the international rugby, A5N just came to an end 2 weeks ago. Sri Lanka coming in right at the top of the Five Nations in Asia, beating Kazakhstan in this very ground that I'm bringing this show to you today, Heavy Sports Club. And it is just as hot as today when the Kazakhs took the field against the Lions, and boy did they have their work cut out. A huge margin when you look at it, the score difference, but you know, lot is said about the team selection. Some said it was absolute balls as to how some people ended up in the team, but I'll tell you this much, the team that played the game on the field throughout the tournament was probably the right selection. They played together as one team, gelled really well, and the skill levels are really good. Riza Mubarak coming back from injury was superb, I thought, and skipper Yoshita was also impressive. And we had the two wings, Dabre and Herat, who did really brilliant work, really speedy backs in the Sri Lankan line, which is very heartening to see. So congratulations, and a lot of celebrations went out after the victory. So congratulations to the Sri Lankan rugby team, and hopefully we can expect more good things from the Lions. So one final thing before the show comes to an end. Champions Trophy coming up, and the selection committee have announced a 30-man squad, and well, I'm not surprised by any means as to some of the people that turned up in that 30-man squad. You've got to be kidding me about, you know, Upul Taranga, Tilna Kandambi, Chamara Kapukotuwa, where on earth and how on earth did they end up on that list? Absolute balls. It's a box of jelly beans, to be honest. I know they keep performing in the Premier League tournament here in Sri Lanka, but every time you give them an opportunity overseas, they made a mockery out of it. I mean, you all remember how Kandambi's commitment when running between the wickets, and his scores haven't been that great either. Chamara Kapukotuwa, nothing much needs to be said about him. Has been failing consistently. That's the only thing he's been consistent with. And then you get to Taranga every now and again would score a century, but it's been a long time since we've seen him get some valuable runs for Sri Lanka. So I think a lot of good players have missed out. Kaushal Silva, namely, I think deserved a spot in that squad, but overlooked by the selectors. I'm not quite sure what the thought process was behind the selection. What the media had to say, the papers had to say, was that it's a blend of youth and experience. That we've heard that fairy tale story for so many years, and it's only an excuse to get the favoured people into the side and for them getting them into the touring party. I, for one, am not pleased with some of these players being in the side over and over again, only for them to fail and to disappoint the cricket-loving public of Sri Lanka, which is, let's be honest, the whole country. So unfortunate, but let's hope that people who actually deserve to be in that 15-man squad that actually travels to England for the Champions Trophy end up in the squad, and let's just keep our fingers crossed for that. Alright folks, that brings the third edition of the Boom Shaka Laka show to an end. Hope you enjoyed it, and please get back to me as to what you think of the show and what you think should be added into it, what should be taken out, and what you would like me to talk about in the future editions of the Boom Shaka Laka show. Thank you so much for joining me and watching the show yet again. It's been a pleasure, and see you soon. Take care.
Shaka laka boom boom boom, girl you cause confusion when you walk in the room. Shaka laka boom boom boom, girl you cause